Welcome to the ZimmCast, a program dedicated to bringing you what's new in agricultural marketing. The ZimmCast is the official podcast of AgWired and hosted by Chuck and Cindy Zimmerman.
Hello and welcome to the ZimmCast. I'm Chuck Zimmerman. In this episode, we're going to get an in-depth preview of the new NAMA NEXUS event that's going to be taking place in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, October 14 through 16. I spoke with committee chair Kasie Garcia, and she's going to tell us all about what that means, the word nexus, and the economies of ag, and a lot about the agenda, which is going to be very different from what we've had in the past. Kasie, can you first tell me your name and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Kasie Garcia, and I'm involved in NAMA this year as the chair for our inaugural NAMA NEXUS conference. In my day job, I'm actually getting ready to start a new adventure. I will be shifting from the client side. I've been with Bayer and GDM on their Marcom teams to the account team at Brighton. So I'm super excited for that.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on that. And let's just go ahead and jump into the brand new NAMA NEXUS. That's going to be October 14th to 16th in Milwaukee. So what is this that is evolving from what was the NAMA Fall Conference?
Yeah, so as the executive leadership team was looking at all of the different events that NAMA offers, looking at how we could evolve and refine the fall conference experience was a pretty easy task to look at, because the fall conference, for the most part in the history of NAMA, has just felt more like a scaled down version of the spring conference in April. So it was really exciting, but also we saw a need there to say, hey, how can we shift this to offer a new experience to the NAMA community? And so that ultimately is what led into NAMA NEXUS. And Nexus on its own is a connection or link between things, persons, or events. And so that's kind of why the team decided to go with Nexus. The main idea and goal here is to connect the NAMA community to ideas, topics, trends on a deeper level than what they maybe were used to with the fall conference structure.
So what does the theme Economies of Ag mean?
So as we looked at this first year, what's a great topic to dive into for everybody? And we settled on the economies of agriculture. And what this really is looking at is when you look at agriculture as an industry and all of the different economic trends that are put into this industry that affect not only the companies and partners that are providing products or services, but also to our customers at the end of the day, our growers, our producers. How can we as a marketing community take all of that, learn from it, better understand it, and then go back to our jobs to be able to better provide to our customers? So whether that's crafting new strategies or just being able to understand where our customers are at so that we can better reach them through our marketing plans.
So as a workshop style event, how does that compare to past conferences?
So in the past, the conferences have mainly been more lecture style, where you were engaging with the people around you at the conference through breaks, through happy hour sessions, other specifically designed social settings. And then when you went in to learn from our keynote speakers or our breakout speakers, it was primarily just orally presented with a subject matter expert just talking to and teaching the audience. And it was really important for us to make sure that every speaker that was coming to this event was thinking about how can we get people involved. So whether that's opening up in your session a Q&A set piece for the audience to be able to ask questions after they're done, or by building in some kind of interactive experience for people at the tables they're at, to not just get to know each other on a social level, but to also talk with experts and other people in the NAMA community about the subject or topic that they're learning about.
One thing I want to add into there is on the website, it says NAMA NEXUS turns honest dialogue into industry-shaping outcomes. That's kind of an interesting statement to make. And what is that you expect out of that?
So I think for me personally, and just from the conversations our committee has had, one of our hopes for this event is that the people who attend would be able to take a deeper understanding of parts of the agriculture industry that they're maybe not exposed to on a day-to-day job, day-to-day experience with their jobs, but be able to take that back to their jobs and tangibly, realistically use that to create better outcomes, whether that's coming up with a more realistic strategy, whether that's altering how we're going to show up in the marketplace to reach customers, things like that.
All right, so what we want to do now is go on to the agenda. Everybody's always interested to find out what is it actually going to be. General sessions, master classes, sponsors, all those things. Maybe we can kind of go through that a little bit.
So looking at opening, we obviously are going to have our networking reception on Tuesday when everyone gets in, and that's going to be very standard. People attending shouldn't expect anything new. We wanted to make sure that we were keeping good time for people to network with each other, whether it's meeting new people or getting to kind of reunite with NAMA members that they don't get to see very often. And then kicking things off strong on Wednesday with Jacob Shapiro. He's going to be our opening keynote speaker, and his session is called Exiting the Cave. So horizon scanning the intersection of geopolitics and food, energy, and labor. And if I could sum up what his topic is going to be, he's really looking at what are some of the analytical tools that he uses for addressing some of the long-term decisions, especially when we look at a world where the headlines around us sometimes blur that line between facts and fiction, looking at different entrepreneurs and business owners and some of the key mistakes they make when looking for future risks and opportunities to get into. So he's really going to be kind of starting us off with the long-term decision making when it comes to the world that we live and work in. And then moving on, we will hear from Aidan Connolly on AI and tech advances in agriculture. And this is going to look at the agriculture industry from robotic harvesters to AI that's used in our precision farming technology. And Aidan Connolly is really going to be looking at where should growers invest their time and resources when you look at all of these new AI and tech advances that are starting to break out into the market, looking at what truly does turn the needle versus what is more just kind of trendy in the moment as it applies to a farming operation. And then we're going to move on to Megan Klein and Betsy Ratto. And this is a session that I'm especially excited for. Their session is called Walking the Advocacy Tightrope, a communicator's view of advocacy on the Farm Bill, MAHA, and trade. So for this session, both of these ladies have experience with strategic corporate communications on different sides of the industry. And one of the things they're going to be looking at is in a world and in a society where there is some tension, and as communicators, we have to be able to maintain our company's positions while speaking to both sides of the aisle and figuring out how we can effectively and clearly communicate to people who may not always agree. And how does that impact kind of this world we're in where you have political movements affecting our decisions with food? You're seeing things like the 2025 Farm Bill that's coming up. And how can you kind of build your communication strategies for those? So they're going to be diving into the Farm Bill a little bit, international trade and how that's playing a part in the U.S. ag industry, federal budgeting and what that has to do with our industry. And then also one of the hot topics for everybody right now is the Make America Healthy Again movement with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and all of the different pieces that are coming in and out of the agriculture industry based off of decisions and comments that are being made in that arena. And then closing off our first day, we're going to be doing something new. And this is something I'm very excited about. We are going to be doing mini masterclasses. So this is going to kind of replace that traditional breakout session feel, but everybody will get a chance to hear from all of the different speakers. And think of it more like a TED Talk style, where we're going to give each speaker 30 minutes to talk about a topic in a condensed version so that we can get to hear from a variety of experts on a very similar topic, but kind of getting different perspectives. And the overall theme that we ran with for this year was emerging opportunities and revenue streams within the industry. So we are going to be hearing from Heather Giesecke, and she's going to be talking about carbon and giving an intro into an emerging market that some people might know a lot about. Some people might still be very new to carbon, but it's a market you wish you had heard about sooner. And then we're going to hear from Louise Copeland and looking at unlocking untapped revenue in the renewable fuel market and kind of how Bunge as a company is stepping into that. And then we're going to hear from Sarah Vosek on the phygital farm where dirt meets data. So this is looking at the physical farm and the digital farm. So when you look at those together, how can you use data to inform the decisions that you're making physically on your farm? And then we're going to close the mini master classes with a producer, and we're still wrapping that up, kind of putting the bow on which producer is going to be sharing their experiences with us, but they're going to be sharing what are some of the new opportunities that they specifically have either been interested in, physically investing in, or that they're excited about from the producer standpoint. And then on day 2, so this will be Thursday, October 16th, we're going to start the morning with Corey Geiger and looking at what does the future hold for U.S. agriculture. So looking at, from an economist standpoint, and that's what Corey does at CoBank, what are economists saying about the future for this industry? What are the things they're excited about? What are the things that they're kind of cautious about? What are the trends that we can maybe expect to see over the next few years? And then continuing kind of that future and beyond topic, we're going to hear from David Cole on Megatrends 2025 and beyond. And this is going to be looking at some of those global forces that are becoming, as we would call them, megatrends, and how can you bring that to create a local strategy? So how can you kind of look at the entire world of agriculture, not just the US portion, but use that to inform you as you're making strategies for your local regions, because we know that ultimately we have to connect with our customers and producers on a regional level so that it can feel relevant to them. And then our closing session, and this is one of the sessions that I really think makes NAMA Nexus different. And this is David Parker from Curious Plot. He's going to be wrapping up and kind of why does it matter to us? So David, during the day, works at Curious Plot as an executive vice president, but on the side, he is a well-known speaker and facilitator. And so one of the things that he'll be doing is actually engaging through the entire NAMA Nexus experience with the speakers, with people attending. And then he's going to take everything we learn and kind of discuss and present to the attendees, why does it matter? And this is something that really kind of came out of some of our early discussions about NAMA Nexus. Jenny Pickett was mentioning that somebody said to her, well, this is great, but how does it help me sell tractors? And that was kind of a profound moment for us as we looked at how could we truly make this a realistically tangible experience that people can use. How can we bring some of these topics that have nothing to do with marketing? How can we bring that back to why we should care about it as a marketer? Why should we listen? Why should we choose to intentionally understand topics that we don't have to maybe even worry about because we have coworkers who do that, or there's another company that does that. But the importance of using it to make you better at marketing, to make you a more well-rounded marketer. So that's something I'm really excited for as well.
Well, that's a lot. One thing that really helps a conference like this is sponsors, and I don't want to leave them out because they're always so important. But anything you can say about sponsors?
Yeah, so we are always still looking for people who would love to sponsor with us and partner with us for NAMA Nexus, for NAMA in general. I would encourage anybody who's listening to this to reach out and see how you can get involved. With NAMA Nexus being in Milwaukee, one of the kind of things to look for some of our sponsors is to see some of our Milwaukee-based partners jumping out and hosting, whether they're hosting us at their office or they're just hosting as the sponsored host for one of the breaks or for our opening happy hour, things like that. We obviously have some incredible sustaining partners that help us operate year round and help every event come to life, but we're really excited about some of the smaller and some of the other sustaining partners specifically for NAMA Nexus that are helping make this event happen.
Well, I know it's going to be a great event, and I guess before we would end here, if we could talk about how to get registered for anybody who maybe hasn't yet, and a little bit about the hotel in order if they can still get in, that kind of stuff.
We'll be at the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee for the event, and NAMA did reserve a block of rooms for that. I know that the deadline to reserve that yourself has passed, but my understanding is that we still do have some rooms in that block that we held back. There was a recent post on LinkedIn and Facebook that people could check out that has more information about how to get one of those rooms if they would like to stay at the Pfister. Otherwise, we are in downtown Milwaukee, so there are plenty of other hotels within walking distance from the Pfister Hotel if you would like to stay somewhere else, or you could always see if the Pfister Hotel still has rooms available. You just won't get the group rate that we had. When it comes to registering for the event, so you can register through the event through the NAMA website, and so that is nama.org, and then just search through the events for NAMA Nexus. If you are a social media person, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, if you go to any of the posts that NAMA has posted, there is a direct link through those posts directly to the NAMA Nexus page for registering.
Any closing comment you might want to make?
I would just say that I think one of the cool things about this experience that we've built and the future of NAMA Nexus is that because of this shift into being more targeted on one specific topic, whether you've been in ag for your entire life and maybe grew up on a farm, grew up participating in FFA, or you are brand new to this industry and you're still learning what the different types of corn are, this event is going to have something for everybody because we're not speaking on all these topics on such a high level that people who are more seasoned in the industry won't be able to get something out of it. But we also don't want to make it so incredibly hard to understand that somebody who's newer to the industry is going to feel overwhelmed. So I think this is the perfect balance to really bring all of the different levels of experience to agriculture together and help people walk away with real tools that they can take back to their jobs, whether they're on media, design, strategy. There's just something here for everybody, which I'm excited about.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Kasie, for taking the time to visit here about this. We'll look forward to the event coming up. It's not very far away right now. So again, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. I'm just excited for the event, and I'm excited to see everybody who shows up.
So that's the ZimmCast for now. I hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you for listening.
You've been listening to the ZimmCast, the official podcast of AgWired. Check us out at www.agwired.com to find out what's new in agricultural marketing.